Spoilers in 3,
Spoiler.
2, 1. What movie did we see today, guys?
And we saw Incel the movie.
It's not even. Yo,
No, it's not. But that's what people were calling it.
Well, funny you say that because what were your expectations going into it?
Yeah. I had full faith in it. I thought it was gonna be good.
I also thought it was going to be good, if not great.
Yes, same. I heard it won the Golden Lion in Venice or whatever.
It did.
That is a prestigious honor. So I had very high hopes, and I gotta say they delivered.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing, since we all hated it, we're gonna talk about the things we didn't like first. Towards the beginning of the movie, whenever he got in an uncomfortable situation, the laughter thing really, really showed through. But then when he was getting interviewed by the police, he wasn't doing it. And then when he was upset about his mom, he wasn't doing it. So it seemed a little inconsistent halfway through the movie.
Well, I think it's supposed to be revealed that it's not actually a condition. It's
But-
a psychology thing.
But the psychology thing would have kicked in those specific instances.
You make a good point.
So I felt like it was a little inconsistent. That was one of the things I was thinking about during the movie. I'm like, shouldn't he be laughing right now, or at least like struggling to speak? Because like detectives grilling you about something like that is super serious and like nerve wracking, especially if you did it.
I'm really trying to think of like some kind of negatives. Like it's not
yeah,
a 10.
It's
but, like
it's definitely not a 10.
Okay, I have part 2. Sometimes the soundtrack was a little overbearing. It was a little too loud, and there
See,
wasn't anything else going on but just
See,
soundtrack.
I think it was a weird mix. There were a couple scenes where I didn't really like that they were playing like real music and not like soundtrack
oh, you
music.
mean like Lunatic Fringe?
Or like Rock and Roll Part 2.
Rock and Roll Part 2 was a banger.
It is a banger. I don't know if it fits the scene though.
I loved that scene.
Because then halfway through Rock and Roll Part 2, they transitioned to a song from the sound or the
Yeah, I agree.
for the movie, like part
Yeah.
of the score, and I'm like, it feels like when they were in the editing room, like the director was like, "Oh, do we play Rock and Roll Part 2 or do we play?"
Bill, let's fucking do both.
And then the editor was like, "We can do both."
Yeah.
You know?
But they could have blended it better. You're
They
right.
could have been blended a lot better. I don't like when movies like transition from one song into another song very
It has to
obviously.
do the...
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood did the same thing where like they hard cut between songs and it's very jarring.
Yeah.
I gotta say though, aside from actually those one or two songs that blended not so well,
I actually
really-
like the soundtrack, yeah.
I like the soundtrack. I really like the original score.
Yes,
for it.
Yes.
it's actually good.
We're
The
still on
score's good.
negatives, but I just wanted to mention that.
No,
No,
you're
no,
right.
I understand. I think Rock and Roll Part 2 is out of place though, because like a lot of the songs are more like 50s like lounge music, which is I don't know, they established a motif and then suddenly Rock and Roll Part 2 baby, and I'm like,
I think the thing with that scene of why it's so jarring is he's like enjoying himself, and then you see the silhouette things in the background, and you're like, this isn't gonna
Yeah, I
be the
saw
rest of
those
this isn't gonna be
immediately.
good.
yeah,
and
no,
then, and then it hard cuts to the other soundtrack the second it cuts to the other guys, and I actually like that transition, but it could feel out of place in that scene.
I feel like it would have been
understand where you're
better
coming
if
from.
the score, if it was one song throughout and the tone and like the style of the score, the song changed when they,
No, it's understandable.
you know, I don't know, it would have been a little more subtle, I think.
Anything else? Because
Negative.
I
Aside
think-
from like little teeny details, no. I don't want to get hampered up with little things.
Yeah,
and
I don't
there's more
really
to
have
talk
any
about.
like big hot takes like I normally do. Like,
No,
oh,
I didn't really have
Mysterio
big hot
fucking
takes.
sucks, you know.
I didn't have any hot takes. I just had a few little things in the narrative that I was like, really though?
Yeah.
But-
Let's
I get what
talk
you mean.
about the narrative. I think the idea of taking this character and putting him in this setting, in this world, and showing that transition. Initially, when I first realized that that's the movie they were going for, I thought, oh, this is really similar to Ledger's Joker. And then I realized, no, it's
No,
not.
he's
It's his own thing. It's his own
so
reason.
his own
Ledger's
thing.
Joker was crazy. This Joker's crazy.
I
Right.
disagree.
Like, absolutely wild.
Ledger's Joker is not crazy.
Very sane.
He's very sane.
But he's like sane to the point of you're a madman,
Yes.
which is
This is
crazy.
This
Yeah.
is different kind of insanity,
Yes.
which I like. I like that all the Jokers are different interpretations of the character because you don't want it to always just be the same thing over and over and
Yep,
over again.
I
'cause
agree.
Then it just gets stale. And Ledger's performance is so impactful that sadly he was become so tired of the role that I don't think we'll ever be able to talk about Joker without talking about Heath Ledger's performance. Of course.
I was gonna do it without it, but you guys just fucking had to bring it up. But no, you're right.
They're both great. I think they both have made the character their own.
I have a hot take. This might be my second favorite. He was fucking awesome. If we're talking about positives, Ween.
Yes.
Oh my lord.
He is phenomenal. He really does disappear in all of his roles.
Yep.
I gotta say, that's the cold take. I mean, everyone seems to be praising his
Yeah,
performance.
everyone
No,
has talked
but-
about how great he was.
But a lot of people have their big Joker opinions. I thought he was absolutely brilliant.
I think you can it's the same kind of thing as Ledger's style, where you can pick out the other Jokers he takes inspiration from.
Yep.
It works totally perfectly for this.
Because he's doing it by himself too.
He does his own interpretation of everything. You know what I mean? Like, and he has this very defined set character, just like Ledger did. But you can see like echoes, especially in the Mark Hamill-esque laugh of like other certain types. All right, when he's standing on the car in the riot and they're all praising him and he does the blood in his mouth. When he's standing there in that moment, I think that character might be the most comic accurate Joker we've gotten on screen ever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't want to stand by that statement. I might think about it later, but
I think there's
so
a lot
good.
of I think there's also a lot of interpretations of Joker in the comics
Mm-hmm.
that you can say that about several different Jokers, to be honest. You know,
Absolutely.
Joker in and of himself is inherently an interesting comic book character because he is so malleable. He can do so many different things.
Yeah.
You know, Batman will always be tied to his origin story. Superman will always be tied to his need to do good. You know, there are certain anchors that every character has.
Well,
but
Joker has an anchor too. It's chaos, and chaos is so malleable.
Exactly.
You're right.
Joker can just be pulled and shaped in any direction. And I think that's why he stood the test of time and become this iconic comic book villain, because he can literally be anything that the story needs him to be. Do you want him to be a fucking prankster? You got him. Do you want him to be a straight up gangster? You got him. Do you want him to be a cold manipulating psychopath? You got that too.
You want to be a fucking mental patient? Boom, here he is.
Exactly.
Like,
there's a million different ways to take Joker.
I think Jared Leto said it the best when he said, "I'm an idea." The Joker is an idea, but not when you just say it out loud, obviously.
Well,
like and they say that, they show that.
I got a pretty big negative for Joker. He didn't have the word damage across his forehead at the end of the movie.
He didn't have a Batman symbol with a knife in it.
The themes in this movie were really well done.
No, I agree.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I really like the story with his mother.
Oh my fucking god.
Dude, that scene when he finds out that he's actually adopted.
There was a lot of parts in this movie. I just looked at the screen and went, wow. And in the best way.
Yeah, Sam.
Like,
I think my favorite scene, might be my favorite scene of the year, is when those two guys from his old work come into his apartment.
Oh my god.
That whole sequence there before he leaves and during
My mom just died. I'm celebrating.
Dude, honestly, that might be the best scene of the year.
I like when he kisses the guy on the forehead.
Easily the best
It's
part.
like, you're always nice to me.
That was such a,
It's like, what the fuck?
That's
like a perfect scene.
I'm inclined to agree. I'm trying to think of a better scene.
that scene's so good.
The whole end scene in the on the talk show was actively also really well done.
It was.
There are a few scenes that are fighting for best scene in the movie. Like, for me, the scene in the hospital with his mother at the end of that saga was so impactful to the story, so impactful to his story, so impactful to the movie, and it's that's when you feel like he's the most unhinged.
I'm really happy they didn't get weighed down too much with Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne is in the movie.
Yeah,
but he's
in the movie
used
just
so
enough.
Correctly, he's in 2 scenes.
Yep.
And one of those scenes is to build on Arthur's dynamic, or Joker's dynamic, to Thomas Wayne, which makes Bruce Wayne not Bruce Wayne. He's a plot.
He's the kid of the...
Yes, that's exactly what he needed to be, and that's exactly what he was. And the way they tied it in at the end, the riot Joker causes at the end of the movie,
directly
incites the guy to shoot Thomas Wayne and create Batman. That is so fucking clever.
It's so good. It's
Oh
so
my
good.
Lord.
I loved it. Oh my god. All of the characters were so great. The mother...
Oh my god, the subplot with Zazie Beetz' character?
The
Holy
subplot
fuck.
with his own brain and schizophrenia?
Oh my god, that was
Fuck.
brutal.
I didn't
when
even know.
realized. I was like,
until
holy shit.
he sat down in the apartment, I was like, wait a minute, this is kind of weird. Why is he acting like this? And then it kept going, and I'm like, oh no. I've been bamboozled.
That was actually a big negative for me when he walked in and just started making out with her and she was okay with it. Like, that didn't happen in real life.
Yeah, I was like, what
And
the
then
shit?
the movie was like, it didn't happen in real life. I was like, oh.
Like, it was his brain. Now, when he said, there's nothing wrong with me, I was like, no, you're schizophrenic. That's technically a disease. Like, that is a brain condition.
Yeah.
There is technically something wrong with you. I understood what he was going for. There's nothing wrong with him in the sense of what he was told. He's like, nah, I'm off my medicine. Never better stab this guy with scissors 40 times.
I was afraid of this movie, like, them trying to force it in to tie in with, Suicide Squad or something like that. It's like,
We saw it with some people, and those people were like, oh, so they're gonna tease a sequel now, right? Post credit scene. We're like, no, it's standalone. They were like, yeah, well, they always say that. I was like,
Now, to be fair, some things do say that and then go back on it. I don't think that they're going to end up doing that due to the sole fact that the guy in charge of this movie, the director, doesn't really seem on board with all of that.
Hard not to talk about that kind of sphere of like political ideologies and stuff like that when talking about this movie because of all like the not controversy but like stigma I guess attached to it.
Yeah, it has to be stigma because there's no controversy before you see the movie.
And I do believe that the Dark Knight Rises, the incident there.
the Aurora, Colorado shooting.
Yeah, I think that was largely unconnected to anything relevant to the movie itself.
Yeah, the dude was calling himself Joker. Joker's not even in the movie. So, guys, out of 10, who wants to go first?
I don't think I want to go first.
No,
I want to give it.
I will. I'll eat it a 9.
I want to give it a 10 really bad, but I know it's not perfect. But like, it was great.
I lean towards 10. I usually watch things one more time to see it.
I'm
to,
like that's
give it a
what
10.
that's my thing. Normally, I'm not just be like he who 10 because that's stupid. There's not any big flaw or any like narrative things that I'm like, oh, that's just okay. Most of it was just like, wow, this is great.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. A lot of this, the shocking stuff, even I could watch this movie a second time, and all that shocking stuff would still have similar impact.
There were a lot of moments that like were cringy but supposed to be.
Yeah,
his comedy.
his comedy was.
His comedy bit, oh my god, I couldn't
I had
watch.
secondhand embarrassment
It's
for that.
hard
man.
not when he's on stage at first talking to the co-host of the show.
Yeah.
That was oof. Like it's tough to because or something crazy is gonna happen. You don't know what exactly, but you know something's
The
gonna happen.
reveal at the end. I thought the knock joke was when he was going to shoot him,
Me too.
and then he goes, "They get what they deserve." Blasts Robert De Niro in the face, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like the little trope subversion there of, "Oh, it's gonna be during the knock joke," because that was a joke he was rehearsing.
You see the hints that that's not going to happen because he rehearsed the entire thing. And the way he rehearsed it and the way he actually came out on stage,
was completely
two different
different.
ways, which is a hint to the audience that it's not going to go down the way we're expecting.
But
Meaning
it's
he's not going to say it during the knock
it's
joke.
still trope subversion, but it's
that's
double
also
trope subversion.
that's also really good filmmaking because
Yes.
that's showing the
Fuck it,
audience
10.
that it's not going to go down the way we think it is.
Exactly.
No, fuck it, 10.
Fuck. All right, I'm going to say I was going to give it an 8. After discussing that point, it's a 9. See you next time, guys.
I'm smothering it.
Thank you so much.